USPAP page 176. Advisory Opinion 37 continued. Appraisers may find analytic tools useful for supporting their adjustments. Regardless of the tool chosen, the appraiser is responsible for the entire analysis, including the controlling input, the calculations, and the resulting output. Appraisers must be proficient in the use of their chosen technology to ensure that they have correctly selected and input appropriate parameters. If the appropriate parameters are not correctly entered into the program, the information provided may neither meet the requirements of the assignment nor provide credible assignment results. Appraisers must have an understanding of statistical analysis and not employ terminology or methodology with which they are not familiar. It is the responsibility of the appraiser to ensure that the controlling input is consistent with market evidence and prevailing market attitudes. Output should be tested and checked for errors and reasonableness. Information retained in the work file must be sufficient to support the analysis. Page 177 is the start of USPAP Frequently Asked Questions. Page 178 doesn't show anything. Page 179, USPAP Frequently Asked Questions, 2018 to 2019 edition. Appraisal Standards Board, the Appraisal Foundation, authorized by Congress as the source of appraisal standards and appraiser qualifications. Published in the United States of America. Bullshit, copyright, blah, 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 something effective through the January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2019. Page 180 doesn't show anything. Page 181, forward. The Appraisal Standards Board, ASB, of the Appraisal Foundation, develops, interprets, and amends the Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice, USPAP, on behalf of appraisers and users of appraisal services. The 2018-2019 edition of USPAP is effective January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2019. It is important that individuals understand and adhere to changes in each edition of USPAP. State and federal authorities enforce the content of the current or applicable edition of USPAP. USPAP Frequently Asked Questions, USPAP FAQ, is a form of guidance issued by the ASB to respond to questions raised by appraisers, enforcement officials, users of appraisal services, and the public to illustrate the applicability of USPAP in specific situations and to offer advice from the ASB for the resolution of appraisal issues and problems. The advice presented may not represent the only possible solution to the issues discussed, and the advice provided may not be applied equally to seemingly similar situations. USPAP FAQ does not establish new standards or interpret existing standards. USPAP FAQ is not part of USPAP and is approved by the ASB without public exposure and comment. The ASB periodically issues the USPAP Q&A, which is posted on the Appraisal Foundation website, www.appraisalfoundation.org. The USPAP Q&A is issued to inform appraisers enforcement officials, and users of appraisal services of the ASB responses to questions received by the board. The ASB complies the USPAP Q&A into the USPAP FAQ for publication with each edition of USPAP. For this 2018 through 2019 edition of USPAP, Q&A through January 2017 has been included. In addition to incorporating the most recent questions and responses issued by the ASB, the USPAP FAQ is reviewed and updated to ensure that it represents the most recent guidance from the ASB. Contacting the Appraisal Standards Board. The ASB invites questions about USPAP, commentary on USPAP, and proposed changes to USPAP from all invested parties, including appraisers, state enforcement agencies, users of appraisal services, and the public. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions regarding USPAP, please contact the ASB at Appraisal Standards Board, the Appraisal Foundation, 1155 15th Street Northwest, Suite 1111, Washington, D.C., 20005, or phone number 202-347-7722, email info@appraisalfoundation.org, www.appraisalfoundation.org.